Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's lawsuit getting messier, Hailey Bieber speaking out to defend Selena Gomez from haters, and Marvel actor Tenoch Huerta denying SA allegations. So there's been a new Vanity Fair report diving into the details behind Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's divorce, and it gives us a bit more insight into their legal battle over their Chateau Miraval winery. In February of 2021, Brad opted to buy Angelina's half of the winery for $54.5 million, but she claims that in return he demanded that she sign an NDA to prohibit her from discussing any of his personal conduct towards her or the family. According to Angelina, he walked away from the deal when she wouldn't agree to sign it, but a source close to Brad has now insisted that the NDA was strictly about the winery, a standard precaution which was intended to ensure that the seller doesn't damage the value of the asset after being paid for it. Angelina's attorneys claim that she invested $60 million of her own money into Miraval over the years, and Brad completely froze her out. She then sold her stake in Miraval to billionaire Yuri Shelfer, and Brad only found out about this in the press. A source close to the actress said, "For Jolie, the sale was a business transaction she had every right to make. In an effort to preserve her own mental health and well-being, she looked for and found what she believed would be a good business partner for Pitt. But from his perspective, apparently this sale was a betrayal. The two of them had made a pact agreeing never to sell their respective interests without the other's consent. This was a promise that Angelina denied, claiming that no such agreement ever existed. A source close to Brad said, "It is not a coincidence that she sold her interest in Miraval to an adversarial party and part of the family home to a stranger, right after a judge granted Brad a huge win with 50-50 custody. So he believes that she sold it just to pull the rug out from underneath him." In terms of the argument on the plane, we also found out a little bit more about how that happened. According to Vanity Fair, by September of 2016, tensions between the two of them had been boiling for about a year. They tried to keep their arguments between themselves and had made a point to never argue in front of the children, until the incident on the plane. After takeoff, Brad allegedly accused Angelina of being too differential to the children, but a source close to Brad says that he actually felt that she was trying to drive a wedge between him and his kids. The head of security on the plane then confirmed that Brad was drinking quite a bit. He said, "Even though associates say they've never seen Pitt intoxicated, and I've been there for 15 years, Brad was drinking, and the confrontation got out of hand. He was absolutely wrong in how he behaved, but immediately apologized and acknowledged that he had crossed a line, which he will always regret, and right away took steps to address this and try to make amends." This was said to be the incident that led to the end of their marriage. In court documents, Angelina's filing goes on to describe this moment as an extended physical and verbal outburst. The document states that Brad choked one of the children and struck another one in the face. He also allegedly grabbed Angelina by the head and shook her, and at one point he poured beer all over her and poured red wine on the children. According to the actress, he started yelling at her while she was in the bathroom. This is when he allegedly grabbed her by the head and shook her, then grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her again before pushing her into the bathroom wall. He then punched the ceiling of the plane numerous times, which prompted her to run out of the bathroom. When their oldest son Maddox came to her defense, Brad lunged at him, so Angelina tried to stop him by grabbing him from behind. Then to try to get her off, he threw himself backwards into the airplane seats, which badly injured her back and her elbow. It was then that the other children rushed in and pleaded with Brad to stop attacking her. The filing states that by this point they were all frightened and many of the kids were crying. Only a few days after this trip, Angelina filed for divorce. Federal authorities investigated this incident, but they declined to bring criminal charges. Brad was also cleared by the Department of Children and Family Services, who found that there was just not enough evidence to support the claim. He did admit to the FBI that he had shouted at his son, but insisted that he did not attempt to physically harm him, his wife, or any of their other children. So with family tensions at an all-time high, there's really no telling how long this divorce is going to drag out for. Okay, so the tables have really turned, because now Hailey Bieber is defending Selena Gomez. Nearly 3 months after the two of them publicly squashed feud rumors, Hailey has continued to show subtle signs of support for Selena. She most recently liked one of her Instagram posts and also shared a message addressing hateful commentary on her Instagram stories just one day later. She wrote, "If you're leaving mean or rude comments on my behalf on anyone's posts, just know that I don't want that, nor do I ever or will ever support or condone hateful, mean, or nasty comments. Doing that is not supporting me. If you are participating in that, you are a part of a culture that I want no part of. Please be nice or don't say anything." So far, the reaction to her message has been pretty positive, and some of her fans are even comparing it to Selena's message. One person tweeted, "This is how you ask your fans to stop. Not, Hailey Bieber reached out to me. You do it because you think the behavior is wrong. This woman is a better person than I could ever dream of being, because if you let let people torment me every day for months, I'ma shut up when it's your turn. What she was referring to, of course, is the moment when Selena posted a forceful message directed at her followers, calling for the bullying to come to an end. She shared this on her Instagram story and revealed that Hailey had reached out to her privately, saying, "Hailey Bieber reached out to me and let me know that she had been receiving threats and such hateful negativity. This isn't what I stand for. No one should have to experience hate or bullying. I've always advocated for kindness and really want this to all stop." But even though Selena did her best to call off the haters, there's no doubt that the last couple of months have taken a major toll on Hailey. She recently took to her Instagram stories and admitted that she's been feeling fragile after having a difficult start to the year. She wrote, "I like to make jokes about how I feel because sometimes it's easier than admitting I'm having a hard time. But truthfully, since 2023 started, I have had some of the saddest, hardest moments I've ever had in my adult life, and my mind and my emotions have been fragile to say the least. And I know so many other people feel the same way I feel, so just know you're not alone." In the second post, she concluded by saying, "Let's keep being there for one another. Let's be there for loved ones and friends and family and strangers. Let's keep showing up for each other even when it's hard. We're better together." These messages just go to show you how much Hailey's mental health has been affected since the online attacks started. If you don't realize the extent of the hatred that she's gotten, it's even affected her desire to have kids with her husband Justin Bieber. Last month, she spoke to the Sunday Times and admitted that she's terrified of the idea because of all the negativity aimed at her. She said, "I literally cry about this all the time. I want kids so bad, but I get scared." Hailey married Justin in 2018 when she was only 21, and ever since then, she's had to publicly defend her marriage on multiple occasions. For example, on their one-year wedding anniversary, people were already flooding the comment section of their photos with words like divorce. And for those people who haven't seen her Instagram, literally every single post on Hailey's page has hundreds of thousands of comments calling her a mean girl, a plotting, desperate woman, saying that her husband doesn't really love her. And many of these comments swear at her, body shame her, or involve commentary saying that she really deserves the hate. All of this negativity towards her relationship has tainted Hailey's vision of motherhood. She said, "It's enough that people say these things about my husband or my friends. I can't imagine having to confront people saying these things about a child." Not only that, but her decision to delay starting a family also has a lot to do with the fact that she just got married at a super young age. As I mentioned, she was only 21 when she and Justin tied the knot, which most people would still consider to be very young to get married. Although she says that for someone like them, it's different because they've already seen a lot for their age. She feels that they've both lived enough life to know what they really want. Surprisingly, later on in that interview, she said the start of her and Justin's marriage, she just wanted to hide due to the lack of privacy. She felt like everyone was in her business and she just wanted to get her anonymity back. So hopefully she's able to get that one day. Now, Marvel star Tenoch Huerta has finally come forward to deny the SA claims. Over the weekend, a musician and activist by the name of Elena Rouse has accused the actor of being a predator in a post on social media. She followed it up by stating that he SA'd her. Now, this is something that she said was really difficult to talk about considering that he was in a position of power over her, especially since he is loved around the world for playing a character in the movie like Black Panther. On Monday, Huerta released a lengthy statement denying these claims, calling them false and completely unsubstantiated. He said that roughly a year ago, he and Elena had a consensual relationship that lasted several months. Quote, "Throughout it was a loving, warm, and mutually supportive relationship. After it ended, however, Elena began to misrepresent our interactions, both privately and in front of groups of mutual friends. As a result, a few months ago, I engaged a legal team to commence the appropriate actions to protect my reputation and refute these irresponsible and false accusations that can cause great prejudice and damage." While he did admit that he is by no means perfect, he said that these allegations are simply untrue, which is why he wants to contest them as both false and offensive. He ended his statement by saying, "I am deeply grateful to my family and the people who have supported me and greatly appreciate everyone who is willing to look at the facts and reflect before rushing to an untrue and unjust conclusion." Huerta had a lengthy career in Mexico before achieving worldwide success with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, where he played the classic Marvel character Namor, who eventually became something of a fan favorite. He was also cast in Narcos Mexico and The Forever Purge, so his star is most definitely on the rise. And that's why this report is extremely disturbing, especially since the accuser, Elena, has continued to double down on her story. On Twitter, she responded to criticism calling her out for not reporting the alleged incident immediately, to which she described the reality of living in a patriarchal country with a misogynistic culture. She explained that justice is often unattainable, and even in a circumstance where someone takes your life, you still might not be believed. She also hit back at those questioning her motives for coming forward, claiming that she does not want to be famous and she does not simply want money because she can always work. Although fans seem to be divided on this controversy, controversy, it's already getting compared to a similar line of allegations against another Marvel actor, Jonathan Majors. If you didn't know, he was recently dropped by his management and PR team after he got into a domestic dispute involving his now ex-girlfriend. They got into an altercation inside of a parked car, and she ended up having to be taken to the hospital after suffering injuries to her head and her neck. She claims that Jonathan struck her with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear. She also says that he put his hands on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. The actor was then arrested on the 25th of March and taken into custody on suspicion of strangulation. When this story broke, it seemed like everyone in the industry was scrambling to cut ties with him, and it started kind of a domino effect. This was a massive deal considering that Jonathan was cast as the latest Marvel supervillain, Kang the Conqueror. Fans were really excited about this because he was supposed to be the next flag bearer for the next wave of the MCU. So whether or not he gets to keep his role will likely determine his entire remaining career. There's no telling just how far this is gonna go, so we'll just have to wait and see what comes of these allegations. What do you guys think about this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.